President Bola Tinubu has assured power generation companies, that's GENCOs, of the federal government's commitment to settling all outstanding debts owed to them once an ongoing audit process is completed. The president gave the assurance during a meeting with representatives of the Association of Power Generation Companies at the State House in Abuja. Addressing the challenges facing the electricity sector, President Tinubu acknowledged the vital role the GENCOs played in stabilizing and sustaining electricity. He noted that while the government remains committed to honoring its financial obligations, transparency and accountability must first guide the disbursement of public funds. Well, joining us for this conversation is the Chief Executive Officer, Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors, spokesman for the DISCOs, Barrister Sunday Oduntan. Good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Now, as a way of giving us a background to how we got here, from 2015 up until this time, I am wondering if conversations were not had with the previous administration to ensure these monies were paid, such that this current administration had to inherit assets and liabilities such as this.
Thank you very much. The Nigerian power sector liquidity crisis began even before the privatization of the sector. The moment the reform started during the President Obasanjo's time, a lot of things happened, efforts were made by that government. But when the next government, the late President Yar'Adua, got into power, he decided to reverse some of the policies of his predecessor. That was one of the problems that we had. And I'm sure he meant well, maybe he wanted to do some other things, but eventually he died. Then came the next administration of President Oduntan, who took the bull by the horn by ensuring that privatization that took place in 2013, November 1st. The jury is still out. Some would tell you that the privatization was already done. Some would tell you it was not well done. Some would tell you that it was done. The only reason why we also had problem was because many foreign investors refused to come and invest in Nigeria. And they gave their reason. Number one, they said Nigeria is a very corrupt country. Number two, they said Nigerian government does not respect the sanctity of contract. I only mentioned those two. There are more. Now, some Nigerians came together and decided to invest in the sector, even though people are abusing them now, blaming them for being so patriotic to have invested. However, even as a businessman, when you invest, your primary purpose of investing is cost recovery assurance. You want to invest and ensure that you get your money back. So, privatization took place. When it took place, the value chain came along with legacy debts. So, the DISCOs that I represent, all the 11 DISCOs, their book, their own was a very toxic asset, negative book. They were not bankable from day one because there were debts that were brought forward to a new entity. So no bank was ready to lend you money if they don't have an assurance that you'll be able to pay back. Then this now becomes an issue of the product you are selling, how much is it, what is the cost of production, what is the appropriate tariff that people should pay. Then comes the political or politicizing the sector and the issue of tariff. Government did not want Nigerians to pay too much because we call it tariff shock. Some customers cannot afford to pay certain amount of money. And Nigeria from 1960 to date, we lack accurate data. And I'm talking about government. Government do not have accurate data. So if government want to help maybe the old, the poor, or the unemployed, they're everywhere. You find old people in rich people area, Maitama, Asokoro, Ikoyi, Banana Island, Ikeja, GRA. then you go to Agege and Okoba and so on. But you also find poor people and rich people in the same place. So to subsidize people, it doesn't make sense to do what we call universal subsidy. You just give everybody subsidy. Why should you subsidize Mr. Sanwo-Olu in the payment of electricity bill or Chief Oduntan? These two people can afford to pay. But why not subsidize those people that we know genuinely they cannot afford to pay? Why if you give Nigerian form, go to any street, give them a form to fill and say, government is planning to help us to pay our electricity bill or gas bill. Please fill this form. It is meant for, they want to help people who are 70 years and over. You'll be shocked to find Pastor Lagbaja, Alaji, somebody who is not 70 that will lie that he's 70. So that when I say we lack accurate data, that's what I mean. To get the accurate data to know those who really need help was a problem. So the government of Mr. Jonathan promised to pay subsidy. They could not pay it until they left power. Minimum of 200 billion could not be paid. So we had what we call shortfall. Then the tariff that was set, like I said, because of tariff shock, to avoid people paying what they could not afford, they now put a tariff that was below the cost of production. So when if the landing cost of my product, if I'm selling bread, and that loaf of bread comes at 100 naira, and you ask me to be selling that bread for 40 naira, you have to give me the 60 naira top up for me to be able to break even, for me to be able to sell the bread and be able to pay. If I'm the retailer, for instance, I have to pay the baker who make the bread. The baker has to pay the flour mill who provide the flour and other ingredients, sugar, honey, all those things. But the moment you are selling below cost price and you are only promising, and I use the word, promising the subsidy, the top up, you agree, you admit, you recognize the shortfall, we are not coming on with it, but you put it on the book. This is the first time. What we have had in the last few days, to me, it's a revolution. When you have a president who say, I know, and now I want to pay. Because we need to take policies away from this power sector issue.
Did the previous administration refuse to pay? Did you engage them? Because
we
that's something we
engaged with
need to know.
them severally, and I will say, I believe they meant well, but the truth is that they did not pay. And we have not had a president that will sit down with us directly, not us saying secretary to this minister or that, who cannot take final decision. When you have a president, as we had a few days ago, who took the pen and said, yes, we are doing the auditing just to verify the actual amount, but I'm going to pay the money. That kind of presidential statement is very weighty. To stabilize the sector, it gives an assurance that payment will be made. For me, that's why I say, take politics away from this power sector matter. Love him or hate him, play your politics, leave us out of it. You don't want Tinubu, you don't like him. When he sees the president, if he does the right thing, we should all acknowledge this is the right thing.
Okay.
This intention to pay, this effort to pay, will make a big difference in the Nigerian power sector. Yeah,
will it affect future investments in the power sector? That's the first thing I want to ask, but hold on to that thought. Earlier on, you talked about the privatization not done well, and you also talked about debts coming up, legacy debts, and all those kind of things that were not even written down when the privatization was done. That proves to me that the privatization of the sector was done in a hurry. All right? Am I correct, sir?
No. Let me repeat what I said.
Explain to us, please.
I said some people will tell you. I was just giving various opinions.
Give me opinions.
But let me tell you the truth. The privatization of the power sector was done in a transparent way, but the problem that we had was that we were not, the government then, were not able to attract foreign direct investment. So the investors that came, the
Nigerian
investors, the way it was structured, they were meant to bring a certain amount of money, which they did. They did not invest anything, that's a lie. But the remaining that they had to borrow from bank were borrowed locally. Okay. And that's a very serious problem. I tell you the truth, If we have had a lot of investment from abroad, those pension funds from Canada or Europe, it will have made a lot of difference. Because when you look at Nigerians' inflation, the interest rate in Nigeria,
It's crazy.
go and borrow money from Nigerian bank. You see how it multiplies with time. This is what happened to the Nigerian investors in the power sector. But a lot of people, even some journalists, don't understand. They don't even take their time to read and understand. But they will dish out wrong information to the public. They have not invested. They don't have money. They don't even have knowledge. They have no technical know-how. That's a lie. Every single disco, for instance, and the Genco that you see, they had foreign technical partners. But when you bring somebody from America or from Monaco or from Milan or anywhere in Europe, and you are not even able to recoup your investment, to be able to even pay them,
it becomes a problem. So this presidential statement, does it encourage foreign investment?
That statement, remember, whenever Nigeria sneezes, Nigeria as a country, the whole of Africa listen. Europeans are always looking at us, listening, because they know Nigeria has a lot of potential. With that statement, I can assure, and I've been called by many people from outside Nigeria. People want to come and invest in this sector. The fear they have is the fact that Nigerians and many people still believe here, sadly, that electricity is a social service, reduce the price. Even this morning, one of the staff here told me, please, I'm in Bande, but reduce the price. Can you reduce the price below the cost price? That is the problem. So that's taken by the government, by the president. I can assure you, bring a lot of
but let me come to you here. First of all, we need to give him his accolades. It's a bold step because a lot of people could not do it, but he's come out to say that, what, this is going to be paid. I have two questions for you. The first one is, now we've heard that it's going to be paid. We're looking at how is it going to be done. We know that there needs to be a lot of checks and balances. There needs to be a lot of accountability before people are even overpaid, because it's a long time. So how are they going to get the facts right, the amount that is being owed, the exact amount that is being owed right? That's the first question. The second one is that we also hear that there's going to, I love the fact that you want to write it. We also hear that there's going to be a power cut as well, and people are asking questions because we hear that it's in the Ikeja environs. Where are the areas? Is it going to be total darkness as well, or there's going to be lights in some places and lights in other places? Are my questions too many?
Thank you. I'll answer the first question. There's no doubt at all on the exact amount that needed to be paid. The debt that we're talking about. There's no doubt about that. But there's a need to do a lot of verification and auditing. Many people don't like us saying it. We Nigerians, both leaders and followers, we have problems. We are greedy people. So, yes, and I'm saying this louder. I'm a Nigerian. Pardon me, that's what we say where I come from. In Abeokuta, you have to say the truth. Because at the end of the day, since they said they will do the verification, trust me, that will be done. They won't overpay anybody. They cannot even overpay anybody. And nobody wants to be overpaid. That was even, for once, commend our regulator, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. These guys are doing a very fantastic job. And they're involved in all of this. The stakeholders have come together. The moment they see that this government really wants to pay, nobody will take the risk of not saying the truth when it comes to verification. That's one. Then talking about light will be off. Not that we just sit down and want to switch off light.
Because we are worried. We are very worried.
I'm still going to go to many stations today. Even coming back here later to speak about it. This is what is going on. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, that is the transporter of electricity. That is the body, the company that takes electricity from the point of generation to us as distributor. They want to do a very essential maintenance. We call it planned maintenance. This maintenance affects a huge section of where we get our electricity from. We call this one, there's a power plant in Ondo State on the Lagos Benin Expressway. It's on the left-hand side. They call it Omotosho Power Plant.
Another power plant.
There's a line from there, we call it 330 kVA. People call it high tension cable, that big one. They need to do a very essential repair work on that line. We call it 330 kV line. It's from that Omotosho all the way to Ikeja West, which is in Lagos State, the place in Lagos from where you get the chunk of electricity from.
Yeah.
To do that, they have to shut down a lot of lines, including, of course, Egbe, Benin, 330 kV line. Once they shut all of that down, this maintenance is scheduled in a way that should not cause too much disruption. So they are planned to do it from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. From today, the 28th of July, 2025, to 21st of August, 2025. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Now, it will affect most part of Lagos State during the day.
In the island or just Ikeja, right?
Not just Ikeja, the whole of Lagos.
Oh, wow.
It will affect everywhere called Lagos. It will also affect part of Ogun State. Abeokuta, my own city, will be affected. Part of Shagamu will be affected. A place called Ogijo, all those Ikorodu, that axis, forget, no light. Because they have to switch off for safety reasons to be able to carry out this repair. And that repair is aimed at enhancing power supply. It will make things better. It has to be done. It is done elsewhere, all over the world. In England, where I lived for 32 years, they do it. My experience in this sector in England, the difference between them and us is that in Nigeria, we do not generate enough electricity. We don't have what I can call spare, like having spare tire. Okay? In England, they always have some power plants that are just there as spare.
As a buffer.
Yeah.
When you want to do repair, they'll just
fall back
switch
to this one.
to that one that is just standing by. But they are doing that because they have more than enough in the country. In Nigeria, we are hovering between 5,000 and 5,500 megawatts for 280 million people. If at the moment we should have today, it's 30,000 megawatts. So we don't have any extra that we can use.
Yeah,
that's why when we switch it off, it goes off. But it's going to be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, and you have light in the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what
But just quickly, you know, sometimes we hear this. I'm not saying you're not saying the truth. You are saying what you're saying. But sometimes we hear this and people say that it's from this time to this time, but we still don't see light. So are you assuring us that from this time to this time, like you've mentioned, there will be light?
I'm a distributor of electricity.
Okay, I just wanted you to assure us.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria is a wholly owned, 100% federal government company. But I can assure you, once they give us the time, they have never done that in the past and not keep to that time.
Okay.
And remember, that's why it is taking long. If they want to do a whole sum, they could have maybe finished it within 2 weeks. Now they've done it over that long
It's
period.
that
25 days.
All right, quickly, let's look at this matter that we are focusing on today, talking about the 4 trillion naira. That's the 4 trillion that the government is looking at addressing. There are questions as to what reform strategies can reverse that trend, ensuring that government does not, you know, owe or have to owe that kind of huge amounts. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, as much as government is trying to address that, the president has stepped in. The state governments are looking at ensuring that they cut costs for their states. And so the Electricity Act, they are exploring it to see that, you know what, we will now start determining the tariff. And so, but we have seen Gencos and Discos say, if you do that, there'll be problem in this sector because you will need to pay the balance, like you explained.
Explained earlier on.
You have to pay what is now left because the states are saying, this is what the provision of the Electricity Act is. And that is how we want to go. We now want to be determining the tariff that our states can pay or the people of our states would pay. We need your perspective on that. Are they going about it the right way, or is there problem also brewing on that aspect?
Well, thank you very much. Allow me, without being immodest, I come from a city in today's Nigeria that was the first independent nation in this country, Egbaland, Abeokuta, from 1898 to December, when the very year the amalgamation took place. We didn't even join Nigeria until later in that year. I'm saying this because in that small enclave called Abeokuta and that Egbaland in Ogun State, the capital, they generated electricity, they had railway, they had waterworks, they even borrowed money from the British government. They had a bilateral agreement with the British government. and they were to pay back over 5 years, they pay back within 2 years. Now, so there's nothing wrong in the state being independent or being able to do certain things. So the Electricity Act of the current Electricity Act that we're talking about, Electricity Act of 2023 as amended, is very good. It's also very clear. But the state that we are now is like we are just starting, like we are in transition. So only one state has come out to take a step,
Enugu.
which is like shooting themselves in the foot.
Really? How so?
Yes. Now, by that law, you are allowed to generate your electricity, transmit your electricity, distribute your electricity within your state, within. So, if you are generating your like Enugu, they have coal in Enugu now. When I was young, I had no coal.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can harness that and generate your electricity, transmit it and distribute it. You can even decide to sell it for 1 kobo. Or when election is coming, you can use that palliative. Tell your people within your state not to pay for electricity. What you cannot do, which they have done, and I can assure you they will revert themselves eventually. What they have done is to tinker, to touch what we call cross-border tariff. A product that does not belong to you, you have no right to put a price tag on it. You are buying something from outside your state. If you are good enough, go and produce in your state. For God's sake, produce it there. That's what the law says. Produce, transport, distribute, sell at your own cost. But the moment you go to next door neighbor, national grid, the law says only the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has the power to determine the tariff. And they don't just determine the tariff and just give a price. Like the one that we're talking about, the one that is in contention, is Bande. Bande tariff is the only tariff. That's 209 naira per kilowatt hour. That is the only band of the bands. That's the only one that has no subsidy. There used to be 37% subsidy. This government took that bold step and removed subsidy from Bande. They say, if my sister here can have between 20 and 24 hour electricity, let her pay the true cost for that electricity. That's why you see the gap between Bande and Band B, C, D, and E. If anybody watching us is living within Band B, C, D, and E, whether you're a rich man or a Dangote, you are still being subsidized by the government. And that subsidy, they are hardly paid. Most times they are delayed. They are the one that leads to what we call shortfall. What the government wants to pay now is part of, when we say debt, this is part of the problem. Now, for Bande customers, they are paying the true cost of it. Nobody is helping Bande customers, and that is why they get the best service. Okay? That's why the DISCO, the power sector as a whole, all of us, the whole value chain, are able to provide service to Bande because they are getting funds from Bande. They can invest in Bande. If I go to Bande, what can I do?
But we are Bande, it's not easy for us.
So in the case of what
Enugu,
we're talking about, Enugu meant well. Not Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission meant well. But in doing it, I think there was a mistake. And now they are talking, the stakeholders, they are having meetings, it will be resolved. And I'm sure Enugu will get to a point, and some other states, that you can reduce electricity for their
citizens.
As long as they are producing it by themselves within their state. But when it's cross-border, you have to respect the law, you have to involve stakeholders. Because what you are doing, or you can do it, on the other hand, they can reduce as they did, but they should come on with the subsidy. Upfront, don't promise us.
So if I hear you correctly now, talking about the 4 trillion naira the government is working on paying, we cannot, if we are to reverse that trend, it means that there will not be subsidy anymore. Is that what it is?
Trend?
Because
are you saying if they pay the money?
No, after they have paid, such that government is no longer going to owe that huge sums of money, because they are
subsidy.
They'll still have to be
government is still subsidizing Band B, C, D, and E. The intention of Band A, if I may say, on our part as service providers, we need to do more. Starting from generation company to transmission company, and we, the distribution company, we need to generate more electricity in Nigeria. That's the first thing. And then, when you generate more electricity, people need to pay the appropriate tariff. You can't expect it to be cheap. Electricity is not cheap.
Electricity is
And
not
I'm
cheap.
talking about
Nigerians don't want to hear
I know,
that.
and I just hope Bande
People
will go a
want to
little
feel
bit
charged.
lesser
It
for
is not
us.
free.
But I just hope Bande will go a little bit lesser for us.
So, no, what is going to happen is all of us in Nigeria at a point will be in Bande. No, the meaning of that is we are going to have 24-hour electricity.
With the high tariffs,
Barrister, so
how many people are able to pay?
Let me say this now for the record.
Our time is up.
Just one word.
Okay.
The Bande tariff, which is the highest in Nigeria, is less than the tariff in Ghana, Senegal,
All right.
Namibia,
CEO, Association of
Kenya.
Nigerian Electricity Distributors, spokesman for the discos, Barrister Sunday Oduntan. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, join us after the break as we focus on political